First we will start with the digestion of lipids, then absorption of lipids, then brief introduction about the lipoproteins also I will give you. So main objectives of this class is you should get familiarization with the composition of dietary lipids, digestion and absorption of lipids in the stomach, how it takes place, that you have to understand. Then emulsification and digestion in the duodenum, micelle formation and absorption in the ileum, chylomicron formation and transport, then the disorders, malabsorption and steatorrhea. Disorders, if you see, malabsorption and steatorrhea. Composition of dietary lipids, if you see, the daily consumption of dietary lipids, if you see, it accounts for about 40 to 60 grams. It accounts for about 40 to 60 grams, and 90% of it is triacylglycerol. 90% of it is triacylglycerol. 90% of it is triacylglycerol. Saturated or it may be unsaturated fatty acids, and 10% of the dietary lipids consists of phospholipids and cholesterol esters. So in addition to the dietary lipids, gastrointestinal system has to handle 1 gram of cholesterol and 5 grams of lecithin that enters in the intestine through bile. You know that the bile is secreted, synthesized in the liver and stored in gallbladder and secreted during the process of digestion into the duodenum through hepatobiliary duct. So, along with the this bile is required for the digestion and absorption of lipids, and in addition to the dietary lipids, so gastrointestinal system has to handle 1 gram of cholesterol and 5 grams of lecithin. 5 grams of lecithin that enter intestine through bile. And if you see the digestion of lipids, this is bit complex. Due to its hydrophobic nature. It is not like that of proteins and carbohydrates. This is bit complex process because of its hydrophobic nature. And lipids do not undergo a significant change in the mouth. Because there is no enzyme. For the digestion of lipids in the mouth. So saliva or the parotid gland secretions, if you see, there is secretions, they do not have any enzyme which can digest the lipids in the mouth. So there is no significant digestion takes place. So digestion of lipids is insignificant in the mouth. And the stomach also, there is no much significant digestion of lipids is seen. But in the intestine only the digestion of lipids will start. In the intestine, if you see, the production of bile juice and pancreatic juice into the gastrointestinal system is observed. So bile juice is required for emulsification of lipids which are present in the diet, and pancreatic juice contains the enzymes which can digest the lipids. So emulsification process is required for digestion, and micelle formation is required for the absorption of lipids from the intestine. So 2 points you should remember. Emulsification of lipids takes place by the bile secretion, and the micelle formation takes place, it is required for the absorption, and the digestion, enzymatic digestion is with the pancreatic juice that contains the enzymes which can digest the lipids. Now if you see in the stomach, there is a gastric lipase is there. The gastric lipase action is very significant. This of course, stomach also is responsible for the digestion of lipids, but it is to a lesser extent only. Okay. So the enzyme that is present in the stomach is gastric lipase. This gastric lipase hydrolyzes the triacylglycerol. TAG means triacylglycerol. Hydrolyzes triacylglycerols containing short and medium chain fatty acids. short and medium chain fatty acids, containing short and medium chain fatty acids. So in the stomach, short and medium chain fatty acids are hydrolyzed by the enzyme gastric lipase. So the optimum pH required for the action of this gastric lipase is 3.0 to 4.0, which is maintained in the stomach because of the secretion of the HCl. Now if you see the ester bond at the third position is the primary site of hydrolysis by this enzyme gastric lipase. Ester bond at the third position is the primary site of hydrolysis, releasing the fatty acid and 1,2-diacyl glycerols. Fatty acid and 1,2-diacyl glycerol is produced because of the action of this gastric lipase on short and medium chain fatty acids. So gastric lipase action is significant in case of children, and the milk which they consume contains triacylglycerol with short and medium chain fatty acids. So this gastric lipase is mainly active in case of neonates and infants, okay, those who are on milk feeding, because the milk contains triacylglycerol with short and medium chain fatty acids. This enzyme is active mostly in case of children. Now the released fatty acids are absorbed via stomach wall itself, and they enter the portal vein directly. Okay. Now triacylglycerol with long chain fatty acids, phospholipids and cholesterol ester, they do not undergo any change in the stomach. So the food moves into the next region of the intestine, that is duodenum. Duodenum or small intestine. Small intestine consists of three parts: duodenum, ileum and jejunum. Duodenum, jejunum and ileum and jejunum, these are the three parts of the intestine. Okay. So in the intestine, what will happen in the duodenum? There is production of bile juice and pancreatic juice. So as I told, bile juice is required for emulsification of the fatty substances in the diet, and the enzymes of pancreatic juice helps in digestion. Okay. So as lipids enter the duodenum, the following secretions are added to the food. That is exocrine pancreatic secretion containing the digestive enzymes, and bile from the gallbladder. So if you see the composition of bile juice, it is produced by the liver and stored in the gallbladder. It enters in the intestine at the second part of the duodenum. Bile consists of bile salts, lecithin, cholesterol, bile acids, etc. will be present in the bile juice. Now bile acids, if you see the bile acids, these bile acids are amphipathic in nature, that enables the bile acids to carry out two important functions, that is emulsification of lipid aggregates, then solubilization and transport of lipids in an aqueous environment by forming micelles. Bile acids are responsible for the micelles formation. So these micelles, the aggregates of lipids such as fatty acids, cholesterol, monoglycerides that remain suspended in water develops into micelles. So these bile acids are also critical for transport and absorption of the fat soluble vitamins. Bile acids are also critical for transport and absorption of the fat soluble vitamins. Bile salts, what they do, they lower the surface tension, which helps in emulsification. If you remember the abnormal constituents of urine test which you are doing in practicals, you are doing Hayes sulfur powder test for the identification of bile salts and bile pigments, correct? So this Hayes sulfur powder test, you are adding sulfur powder to control sample and to the urine sample. If the sulfur powder sinks to the bottom, it indicates the presence of bile salts and bile acids. Okay, and if doesn't sink, there is no bile salts and bile pigments or bile acids. So these bile acids, the principle of the Hayes test is also because the bile acids, if they are present in the urine, they reduce the surface tension. As a result, compared to water, the surface tension of this urine will decrease. As a result, the powder which you are sprinkling over the urine sample will sinks down. So this is because of the action of bile salts and bile acids in urine, they reduce the surface tension of water. So this bile salts, if they are present in the aqueous environment, what they can do is they decrease the surface tension and helps in emulsification. So aggregation of this triacylglycerol, cholesterol esters, phospholipids takes place in the intestine. So this results in the dispersion of large particles into finer emulsion droplets. This results in the dispersion of large particles into finer emulsion droplets. Thus, the surface area of the lipid-water interface, on which the digestive enzymes act, is increased several fold. So surface area of the lipid-water interface, on which the digestive enzymes act, is increased several fold. See here, you can see the emulsification process, how it takes place. So this is the fatty substance that is present in the diet, and bile salts, what they do is they during the process of the digestion, this is hydrolyzed into small fragments. Medium and short chain fatty acids are hydrolyzed. Now this hydrolyzed fat is surrounded by the bile salts like this, and what they do, they further make them into small droplets, and as a result they form some small aggregates. This aggregates is nothing but emulsification. Now digestion, if you see the enzymes that are produced in the pancreatic secretion, exocrine secretion of the pancreas consists of pancreatic lipase and co-lipase enzymes, and cholesterol esterase enzyme and phospholipase A2 are the important enzymes that are present in the pancreatic juice. Now this pancreatic juice contains pancreatic lipase, cholesterol esterase, phospholipase A2 enzymes. The binding of co-lipase to the molecules at the oil-water interface is obligatory for the action of lipase. Co-lipase is secreted by the pancreas. As an inactive zymogen. Initially, co-lipase forms a complex with emulsified lipid particles. Initially, co-lipase forms a complex with emulsified lipid particles. So if you see the action of lipase on triacylglycerol, what will happen? First it cleaves on the third carbon. This ester bond is hydrolyzed by the enzyme lipase, so it becomes diacylglycerol, and further it can act on C1 of the diacylglycerol, so it becomes monoacylglycerol. This is 2-monoacylglycerol undergoes isomerization either to 1 monoacylglycerol or 3 monoacylglycerol. Then this lipase enzyme further acts on this first carbon and releases the another fatty acid, so that all 3 fatty acids in triacylglycerol are hydrolyzed and glycerol is produced. So then if you see the action of the enzyme phospholipase A2 is very important. This can act on glycerophospholipids. Mainly the phospholipids are digested by the enzyme phospholipase. Phospholipase A2, this cleaves the second carbon of the glycerophospholipid, hydrolyzes, so it results in the formation of lysophospholipid. This lysophospholipid, which is less in one fatty acid compared to glycerophospholipid, is acted by intestinal lysophospholipase enzymes and releases the other fatty acid, gets converted into diglycerophosphate, and this glycerophosphate is converted to glycerol plus phosphoric acid and nitrogen base. So intestinal lysophospholipase acts on glycerophosphate and converts into glycerol plus phosphoric acid plus nitrogen base. Now phospholipases commonly studied on phospholipid phosphatidylcholine. Phospholipase A2 has got some significant importance. That is because this phospholipase A2 breaks the ester bond at second carbon of phospholipid and forms lysophospholipid and fatty acid. Phospholipase A2 breaks ester bond at second carbon of phospholipid and forms lysophospholipid and fatty acid. If you see the occurrence of this enzyme phospholipase A2, it is present in human pancreatic fluid, and the same enzyme can also be seen in the viper venom. Venom means a snake viper venom. You can see this enzyme. The importance of this enzyme is in instances of snake bite, lysophospholipid, which is called lysolecithin, is formed, which acts as a detergent and hemolytic agent. So in case of a poisonous snake bite, what will happen? You must have seen in many movies also, if the snake bites, you can see the foam that is coming out of the mouth. So that foam is because the snake venom contains this enzyme phospholipase A2. This phospholipase A2, what it will do is, this enters into the blood circulation, and in the blood circulation this causes the digestion of the phospholipids. So as a result, what will happen? The blood cells, RBC cells, they undergo lysis because of the action of this enzyme phospholipase A2. This digests this glycerophospholipids and results in the formation of lysophospholipid. This lysophospholipid has got detergent activity. So this detergent activity, because of this detergent activity and hemolytic activity, the RBC will lyse, and because of the detergent activity there is formation of froth or foam. So that is why in case of poisonous snake bite, from the mouth also you can see the foam coming out of the mouth. This is because of the action of this enzyme phospholipase A2. Then another enzyme we have is cholesterol esterase CE. So this cholesterol esterase acts on esterified cholesterol and cleaves the releases the cholesterol and free fatty acids. And micelle formation is very essential for the absorption of lipids. Micelle formation is very essential for the absorption of lipids. If you see, absorption of lipids occurs by simple diffusion at the breast border of ileum and jejunum. By the micelle formation. If you see the structure of micelle, you can see the structure of micelles. Outside there is a outer polar phase is there, and inner non-polar phase will be there, and the bile salts are surrounding this fatty substances. And if you see the components of a micelle, there are monoacyl glycerols, 2 monoacyl glycerol, cholesterol, lysophospholipid, fatty acids, and vitamin A, D, E and K are mainly present in the micelles. And these micelles, they get destabilized at the breast border of the jejunum and ileum, followed by the absorption of fatty acid and 2 monoacyl glycerol. These micelles contain fatty acid, 2 monoacyl glycerol, cholesterol and lysophospholipid. Micelles contain fatty acid, 2 monoacyl glycerol, cholesterol and lysophospholipids, and they get absorbed at the intestinal breast border. So they are absorbed by passive diffusion at the intestinal breast border. Oleic acid and linoleic acid are also absorbed by facilitated diffusion in the intestine, and absorbed fatty acids are bound to fatty acid binding protein. Fatty acids are bound to fatty acid binding protein. Okay. Now 72% of 2 monoacyl glycerol is absorbed as 2 monoacyl glycerol itself, which directly gets esterified by 2 monoacyl glycerol pathway to triacyl glycerol in mucosal cells. Remaining undergo isomerization to 1 monoacyl glycerol, and they are absorbed. 6% is absorbed as 1 monoacyl glycerol, which is further hydrolyzed by intestinal lipase to form glycerol and fatty acids. So 22% get hydrolyzed by pancreatic lipase to form glycerol and fatty acid. Glycerol then enters the circulation, as it cannot be reutilized in the intestine. Glycerol that enters the circulation, as it cannot be reutilized in the intestine. Now, cholesterol absorption takes place from the jejunum. About 30 to 40% of dietary cholesterol is absorbed in the intestine jejunum. A fraction of the cholesterol is absorbed and gets esterified. A fraction of cholesterol is absorbed and gets esterified by acyl cholesterol acyl transferase. Acyl cholesterol acyl transferase to form cholesterol ester. To form cholesterol ester, which is incorporated into chylomicrons. So a fraction of cholesterol is absorbed and gets esterified by the enzyme acyl cholesterol acyl transferase to form cholesterol ester, which is incorporated into the chylomicrons. And disorder associated with the lipid digestion and absorption, if you see a condition called steatorrhea. Steatorrhea means it is the excretion of fat more than 6 grams per day in the stools. If the fat content is more than 6 grams per day in the stools, then that condition is called steatorrhea. So this can be confirmed by repeating the test for 3 consecutive days, and formation of bulky or light colored stools is seen in case of steatorrhea. This is resulting because of poor